I should just do a cat live stream. Welcome. I'm Rob. I'm your official YouTube vibe coach. And if you're watching this, thinking to yourself, vibe coach, get a real job. Vibe coach is a real job. It's an important job. A lot of people have lost their vibe. Back in the 90s, Stella had lost her groove, and they made a whole movie about how Stella got her groove back. And I think it's important to, you know, keep that tradition going, keep that tradition strong. So Stella, if you're out there, I'm glad you got your groove back. But a lot of people in the year of our Lord 2025 have lost their vibe. So I'm your official vibe coach. What is this cat doing? This cat is doing something nuts. It's got like a raccoon tail, so it looks like there's a little raccoon in the house running around. Which I've heard they're nice if you feed them hot dogs. I don't know. Anyone met a raccoon? Soulless. David Bazuki got banned from Roblox. Did he? No way. No way. If you don't know who that is, that's the CEO of Roblox. We've been following that story. Latest TikTok podcast. Here's information against our policy against romantic and some content. Where did you read that? So it seems like he's not going to be CEO for much longer. Well, hopefully. It looks like he did a tech podcast last night. I haven't watched it. But he should be. Oh yeah, 14 hours ago, Roblox Corporate Tech Talks, update on our safety initiatives. By David Bazuki. Guy's worth, the CEO of Roblox, worth 8 billion, 8.1 if you want to get specific. And he held a podcast last night. I didn't even know about this. Tech Talks. Or is it just a blog? Oh, here it is. Should we listen to a little bit of it? Yeah, I'm on Roblox Corporate. corp.roblox.com/newsroom. I did not plan to talk about this. It is not linked down below. I wanted to talk about Old Dump and Poo Poo. These two knuckleheads. Look at the end of the meeting. Does that look like the face of a warrior? Warriors! So I want to talk about this. And did you guys see the leaked? They leaked, or not leaked, but the papers for the plans for the summit were left in a hotel printer. When they said they were the most transparent administration ever, who knew it was just going to be because of accidents and leaving papers and leaking things and group chats? Unreal. NPR article, link down below. And we're going to talk about that because they had the menu. They had the menu for the summit. That was one of the things, two pictures of two documents about the Putin meeting in Alaska that were found in a public hotel printer. Public hotel printer in Anchorage. And if you're wondering what that says, well, that's the menu. And it says, in honor of His Excellency, Vladimir Putin. They literally gave this fascist the red carpet treatment. It's unreal. So we'll talk about that in a minute. And real quick, because it is Saturday morning, I don't know if you guys got Tubi. It's free. I watch it all the time. Article in Polygon. 800 Looney Tunes are now available to stream for free. So if you're a fan of Chungus and Bugs and Taz. What is this? I swear to God, this cat. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Here. What are you doing? It's eating this thing. Oh my God. Here. Go play with it over there. What's up, e-bagging? I use Tubi, sometimes soulless. By the way, welcome. I'm Rob. I'm your official YouTube vibe coach. and we do news commentary. We comment on the news. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. But wanted to hit some headlines. Yeah, and if you guys are just chilling on Saturday morning, listen. Reason why I wanted to bring you this news is because if you want to watch all of these Looney Tunes cartoons for free, you can do it on Tubi. I think that's what I'm going to do later. My son loves Looney Tunes, so we'll throw those on. So I just hit some headlines before we get into this. By the way, if you don't know what that Russian account is, that's the Kremlin. That's Russia's propaganda. And it's interesting. They released this video with no audio, and then the Daily Beast did a whole article on it saying, looked like Trump was fawning over this dude. And I can't disagree. I gotta say, they literally gave him the red carpet treatment. And as you saw in the forgotten, not even leaked, this is even worse. This is so crazy to me that this administration, they won't release the Epstein files, but they will forget the plans for the Putin summit at a public hotel printer. Unreal. And they said, in honor of His Excellency. That's your American president honoring who he deemed excellent Russian authoritarian dictator. But before, let's see what, if you guys haven't been paying attention to the Roblox story, this is insane. So let's go back to the beginning. Roblox, if you don't know, game site for kids, targeted at kids, advertised to kids. You figure a game site for kids would be, safe. You figure Roblox would be, and we're going to get to the Trump stuff in a minute. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll go live every weekday. You're right, it's not a weekday, but there's a bunch of news going on. And if you've ever used Roblox, it's like obbies and games and, I don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's and Skibbity Toilets and, it's all that kind of stuff. So its demo is a younger audience. And there's been YouTubers, Schlepp and Gideon, I don't know how to say the other dude's name. My apologies. And these YouTubers go on Roblox and try to root out the predators. They're doing good work. They've gotten 6 arrests, or that Schlepp kid. And then he recently made a video, Schlepp, which we've talked about here on the channel. This young YouTuber, 22 years old, going on rooting out the predators of Roblox. And then he made a video saying Roblox gave me a cease and desist and banned all of my accounts, which was stunning and shocking because you figure Roblox, billion-dollar company, they see this kid doing good work on their site, keeping other kids safe because of, again, Schlepp, the YouTuber, shared this. He said, I was groomed when I was younger. That changed the course of my life where I wanted to make sure that Roblox was safe for other children. So that's why he does this. You'd figure David Baszucki would reach out, make his people hire this dude, hire Schlepp, see how he does it, talk to the people. Like I always say, when I was a manager, and it's baffling to me, managers don't utilize this. If you want to know the best way to do something, ask somebody who's been doing it the most. It's always befuddling to me when managers come in and go, we're changing all this stuff. And you go, why? That's not like, it doesn't make sense for us doing it every day. They go, well, that's how it's just going to be. And then eventually they'll change it back or they'll reverse course on things. And you always get the best wisdom from people who are doing things the most. They'll tell you the little secrets, tips, their experience in it. So it's so weird that in this Roblox story about Schlepp, that Roblox didn't go to him and go, where are you finding the most dangerous people? Where are you finding these predators on our site? What do you suggest we do? Not going to him for his insights and experience and wisdom in not only him being groomed on the site, but also him now rooting out those horrible, heinous people. But instead, their action was to ban this kid and send him a legal threat, which is insane. Insane. But again, watch people's actions. When they tell you who they are, believe them. And it turns out that yesterday we played a clip of this CEO of Roblox, David Sucky. Old David sucks it. And he's been on news outlets, interviews, saying, if you're uncomfortable with your kids on Roblox, don't let them go on. Like the most wildly irresponsible answer for someone who's worth $8 million. Because when you have that much money, you got a little more responsibility than if you're scared, don't do it, you know? Trash channel. Sorry, I'm not reading the comments. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, there's there's one thing. Well, you know, but middle management, I'm guessing, Rita, you're referring to the if it ain't broke, don't fix it thing of when management comes in and changes a bunch of things for people. Again, management has to prove that they're being utilized, because most of the time the workers can just do the work on their own. They don't need someone telling them what to do most of the time. You don't need not the boss, but the guy who literally it's the title to just manage people. You don't need that, you know? So they feel obligated to make sure they're shown their value, and they come in and they go, we're going to do things like this now. And everybody's like, why? You know, doesn't make sense. We do this every day. So that's why if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They don't subscribe to that. And then Trash Channel. Do you think we will have another intelligent president again, or was Biden the last? I don't know about intelligent with Biden. I think he was a little more cordial and domesticated than this feral orange turd we have right now. But who knows, you know? Really what it's up to, Trash, is the people. If we push, if we make enough noise, if we get loud enough, they'll become what they are, public servants. Never forget that. Politicians are going into public service to be public servants. They work for us. Hey, Serenity, what's up, comrade? Good to see you. By the way, I haven't set up an account for GeoGuessr or anything yet. I just checked out the site. And it seems like I would do horrible at it, but we should get a game going. Sorry, my cat is going bananas right now. All right. So, for those who are just getting in here, I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm your official YouTube vibe coach. I teach you how to navigate life with the vibes that are just a little less feral than some of these political Super Bowl supporters. And people that think politics is about Democrat or Republican are morons. Please stop thinking like that. I'm not saying you're a moron. I'm saying your thinking is moronic. Because Democrats and Republicans don't work for you. They work for their corporate masters. And they've proven that time and time again. So stop thinking like that. We got to think about what's best for us. How does our life improve? That's why government's there. That's why they take our taxes. Because it's supposed to be refiltered into our communities. So just getting that out of the way. That's why I'm your vibe coach. And we do news commentary. But we're going to talk about this deflated basketball right here. And his long lost lover that he literally gave the red carpet treatment to. And if you didn't see this news, this regime, they claim, remember when they released the Epstein Files Part 1 and put all those right-wing bro podcasters, the Roganites out there, to hold up the big books saying, look, we got it, this is the first part of the release. And then they said they don't exist, even after they did that. Well, on those little booklets that said the Epstein Files, underneath it said, if you read the fine print, I showed the picture yesterday, you can go back and watch that live stream. It said the most transparent administration, I call it a regime, it's a little more fashy than you'd like. It said the most transparent administration in the history of the US. And it turns out in some parts they are, but it's not on purpose. They're doing this shit on accident because they're an absolute mess. And we're going to talk about these government papers found in Alaskan hotel printer. And it was all about the summit. Look at this. I mean, if somebody, think about how unsafe this is, just on like security. Cat, stop. Hold on. Oh my God, the cat just. Hey, hey, hey. I think it's like 3 a.m. for cats right now, so cat just knocked over all the water bowls. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, you're gonna, and it's gonna go play in the water. That's what happens when you have a cat that is like a dog. Oh God, sorry. But think about this, you know, think about how insane this, oh, here today, transparent if one realizes every accusation is an admission, confession. True. And also very transparent if you think about the leaks from the group chats and leaving the summit plans in a public printer. That's fucking clown school stuff. And look at these plans. Like, it's totally laid out. It was, I mean, and it's funny because there was a tweet that the Russian propaganda network had put out. Where was it? Where was the tweet? There was a tweet. This is the Russian propaganda, the Kremlin Twitter account. It says CIA secret swerve. I can't read that, but it says, has they swept the limo for a microchip after Putin rode in it again? And then they say, is the CIA projecting again? But here's the thing, guys. NPR's reporting that these were documents about the summit meeting found in a public hotel printer. How dangerous is that? And look at, if you're wondering what the menu was, here's the menu. Here's the menu. I'm surprised it didn't say Big Mac. Big Mac with extra Mac sauce. But look what they called him. They literally rolled out the red carpet treatment for this man. They literally, in honor of his excellency. That's wild. That's wild. So we're going to talk about that stuff, okay? But I was catching people up on the Roblox Saga, where this young lad, as they say across the pond, in the UK, that's where they say lad, mad lad. I like that. I like that term. But this young mad lad, Schlep, is making YouTube videos, exposing the vulnerabilities on this billion-dollar website, Roblox, where they target kids to go and play. And the CEO, crazily enough, didn't ask for this young fool's advice and say, share your wisdom, young head. Learn us of your ways of getting the predators off of Roblox. But they sent him a legal letter, cease and desist, and they banned him. It tells you a lot about the CEO at Roblox, that he does not care about your kids, their safety, people trying to make his website safer. And then, yeah, you should have taken him to Denny's. Guys, just don't defend them rolling out the red carpet treatment. You know what I mean? Like, you don't defend that. Stop. Psst. Hey. No. You're going to attack me now? Just don't defend it, all right? You guys are sad. Sad people. You don't have to defend it, you know? And you only do it because it's Donald Trump. That's the weirdest part. If this was Joe Biden inviting Vlad to Alaska and rolled out the red carpet for him and then forgot the plans at a hotel public printer and said His Excellency, hey, oh my God, this cat is actually, I think it's got the look. You know the cat look? When it's absolutely going crazy. Psst, psst, psst. Come here. Get over here. Come here. Here. Go get it. Does anybody else play fetch with their cat? To garner peace, I love the people yesterday, they were saying this in the chat. They're like, oh, you're going to critique his trying to stop the war in Ukraine. And first of all, it's not a war, it's an invasion. Russia just decided that they were going to take over. Like, I think about this often. I'm like, imagine if Mexico was just like, we're taking Texas back. Like, it used to be ours a long time ago. We're taking it back. We're going to have Alamo 2. This time it's serious. And Gerard Butler's going to save the Alamo. But I want you to think about that. Outside of, like, a good portion of the country would probably be like, hey, just take the Joe Rogan part and you're good. We'll give you that part. Outside of most of the country being like, can you please take the Joe Rogan part? That's a crazy concept, right? In this day and age, in the year of our Lord 2025, for another country to just be like, yo, we're claiming that. That's ours. We're taking it back. And a lot of you people are in here like, oh yeah, he's going to broker peace. He's got his nose halfway up Putin's badonkadonk. He walked away with nothing. He even said, there's no deal. Like his words. So he wasn't doing that. He's trying to normalize. Look at that face. Does that look like the face of a deal? That does. That looks like he got his public image washed in the red carpet. But we got to get to this Roblox thing. So now you know the story. They banned this YouTuber who's doing good work on their platform, trying to keep it safer for other kids. Apparently yesterday, in all the news, I didn't see it. David Bass Sucket, gave a tech talk on his corporate Roblox website. I'm going to play the audio. I have not heard any of this, so... Anthony Goodley. Why is Ukraine any of America's business? Why? Who elected America to be the world's police? Yet we ignore our own issues at home. I agree. I do agree. It really burdens my soul when we have $1.2 billion to build a prison in Texas for not criminals, but just people who came to this country, some of them legally. We have $1 billion to spend on more prisons. They built the Alligator Alcatraz in no time. That's our tax money. They spend billions to arm Ukraine. And there are 1 in 5 children here in America go food insecure. Remember that. So I'm all for, spending all our money here to make sure our kids aren't hungry, we're the most educated and stuff. But there are some exceptions. I don't think we should be the world's police. But I do think when there's fascist takeovers, like in World War II, you have to step in. You have to stand side by side against fascism, against old poo-poo, who's been president for, 20 years? And Donald Trump took his advice on elections, by the way. Putin told him, oh, your elections are rigged because of mail-in voting. It's amazing how this last election wasn't rigged, though. How is the one he won not rigged? Like, it's only rigged when he loses? This is, third grade logic, but okay. But that fascist, you don't want him just taking stuff. Again, just think if, they turned and said, Alaska's ours now. Would you guys be okay with that? I would hope other world powers would be like, well, come on, you can't do that. But I don't think spending billions while people starve here. But again, this is what I'm trying to teach people. Take off the Democrat, the Republican hat. They're doing this because they're paying those weapons industries who fund them and their private equity buddies billions of dollars to arm these people with our tax money. Kevin Patriot, I just put you in timeout. No homophobia, misogyny, racism. Add to the conversation or make a joke. But again, this third grade logic, this third grade schoolyard bullying type stuff, it's just go somewhere else. Go to Charlie Kirk's channel. He'll tell you how much you should trust the government right now. Trust all his friends in the government. So we're gonna talk about these two. Don't they look like this looks like Trump if he grew up in Russia, close to Chernobyl, you know, and had a steady diet of what's the plant they eat? I don't know what the plant they eat in Russia is. A cabbage, probably, something. You know, if he just had a steady diet of potato vodka. Then he looks like Putin if he just ate McDonald's all the time and got that orange hue from eating McDonald's all the time. They look like if you redid the Danny DeVito Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Twins, these two could star in it. If you remade the movie Twins today, he welcomed him like he was a long lost brother, fawning over him, rolling out the red carpet. And you could defend it all you want. I don't care. These are my thoughts. Have your own thoughts. You know, praise the fascies. But before we get into that, let's hear the CEO of Roblox. I've not heard this, so we might skip through it, but I want to see what he has.
Welcome, I'm Dave Bazuki, founder and CEO at Roblox, and you're listening to Tech Talks, where we talk about everything that's happening at
Oh, God. This is set up like a 3-person cam, like a Zoom meeting. But apparently they're all in the same room? No. There's people in another room.
Roblox. We have a fast follow today. We're joined again.
How do you fast forward this?
By Matt Kaufman and Eliza.
Oh my God, they made it so you can't even fast forward it. Sensitive issues. Okay, they have something. Why we renamed Friends to Connection? David says, we did something that was arguably controversial because we're thinking about a future. A future was really great at the first spec of Roblox. We called the feature Friends. We renamed that Connections and Trusted Connections. Yeah, it's a PR thing. It's renaming things. That's the problem on Roblox. Once you call people connections and not friends, that will get rid of the groomers right away. Brilliant. I can see why this guy's worth fucking $8 billion. Sensitive issues. Launch was about giving parents more visibility. Vigilantes. Oh, I want to start off by saying that both inside of Roblox, and there are lots of people outside of Roblox who have the best intentions for our welfare of our community. And we have members of the community in these vigilante groups that start off in a really good place. No, I would say, like, as long as vigilante groups aren't using violence or, you know, doing illegal methods, which Slep was not, he worked with the police, then they're always good. You know what I mean? Like, people who are trying to root out the predators, they're always good. They're always the good guy. You don't start off in a really good place and then you're like, well, once you made us look bad, that's a really bad place. Because I'm assuming that's what it says. I don't know. That's where they ended the quote. Are we doing enough on the platform at 23:37? I'm not going to skip around because apparently you can't fast forward in this. But this is the CEO's tech talk. He's trying to wash his PR image. Just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? You're gonna step on my computer? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Please don't drink my drink. No. No. Mine. No. This is mine. Don't step on that. Okay. Cat's trying to drink my drink. Excuse me. Why, thank you. Hi. Do you want to just come and sit for a minute? Let's read the comments together. Tell me how much I need to pay. Okay, everybody give their paycheck to the government so we can pay for everybody's children that need food, blah, blah, blah. Matthew Loring, thank you for your clearly sarcastic and selfish motivations to give your whole paycheck to the government. I got good news for you, Matthew. We talked about this yesterday. Go watch the live stream. We just have to tax the uber wealthy, and you're not one of them. You're in the chat with a faceless avatar. You're not a billionaire. Isn't that great? Matthew, you wouldn't have to pay anything. Literally. Here in Massachusetts, we talked about this yesterday. We put a millionaire's tax on millionaires. 4%, over $1 million. And no kid goes hungry at school. They all get free lunch. All of them. And free breakfast. And if you want to get a bachelor's degree in the state, you can go to community college for free. So the good news, Matthew, you don't have to do anything. Let's tax billionaires into extinction. Anything over 999,999 cents is taxed at 100%. Now, Matthew, because you don't have to pay, you should support that, correct? Right, Matt? Then you don't have to pay anything. You can keep all your money to yourself, and then you'll benefit from it. Or do you just enjoy people suffering? Exhausted with these people. Nathaniel Leroy Turner. Dude, that is awesome. It is awesome. In 2022, again, go watch yesterday's live stream on my channel. Hit subscribe, notification bell. You can watch. I brought up the articles. I brought up one specific article because these lobbyists say, oh, if you tax the millionaires, they'll all leave town. And the article I was featuring was from April of this year that said, since 2022, our millionaire numbers have gone up 35%. So we have 35% more millionaires in Massachusetts after taxing them. After. Isn't that crazy? So all that stuff you've been told, Matthew, and other people who just believe shit like, oh, the millionaires will leave. No, they won't. Massachusetts is an amazing state. You ever been to Cape Cod? It's fucking awesome. Sand dunes, unlike anywhere else in the world, okay? Good God, it is the most beautiful beaches in all of the world. First Encounter Beach, there's nothing more beautiful from there. Remember Sarah Palin? But they're not leaving. And in fact, not only did our 4% tax on wealth over $1 million make them not leave, but it made more millionaires. And kids benefited. People, adults that want to get higher education benefited. The whole community benefited. So people, I ask every single one of you, 220 of you in the chat, number one, hit subscribe and then the notification bell. I bring you this information so you can bring it on and spread the good news. Spread the good news, folks. A millionaire's tax made more millionaires in Massachusetts. We had 1,900 and then it went up to 2,600. Isn't that awesome? 35% more than you, because a lot of these people go, oh, if you tax a millionaire and I become a millionaire, that means a tax on me, even though it's like a hypothetical. That's why people like Ben Shapiro, because he does this whole hypothetical fucking, my feelings are better than facts thing. Hold on. What are you doing? You can't sit right there. This cat wants to sit in the weirdest places next to me. So guys, Matthew specifically, who said some dumb stuff. Matthew, now you're not dumb that I know of, but goddamn, the things you type sound dumb, and a lot of people do that. Some people just, they're not using their brains. They just open their mouth and they let the diarrhea come out and then they wait for someone to clap or something. I don't know what you're expecting, but there's proof. Science has proved it. Taxing the wealthy makes more people wealthy. Stop drinking my drink. This cat keeps trying to drink my drink. Jacqueline, thank you. Cute cat. I call her Ghost. Right? Right, Ghost? Let the cat be jerk. No, Zeta. She keeps trying to drink my drink. And I don't know if it's good for her or not, so. You cannot tax people into wealth. Son of cool. Turns out you can. We did it in Massachusetts. Haha, you're wrong. Do not pass go. No tax on tips. Yeah, ask all the people in Vegas how those no tax on tips are going. They're not getting any tips because the economy is horrible right now. And if they really cared about the working class, I say this all the time, they would just raise the minimum wage. Why does the tax on tips, no tax on tips, expire in 2028, but all the corporate taxes don't expire? Come on, folks. Do you only talk to subscribers? How would I see who's subscribed? Yes, I'm only talking to subscribers, so everybody hit subscribe or my mind blots you out. The economy is horrible. Yeah, Oh, no, the economy's perfect right now. I love these people. They're like, no, 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 shit's amazing. We got paid time off. Everybody got a raise. Eggs went down. Gas is $1. You got tax the rich. Inky, I don't know how to pronounce that. Stop drinking my drink. Um, what we like to say is tax wealth, not work. Because a lot of these people have accumulated so much wealth that they can't spend. For example, go look up the Bill Gates Foundation. He's trying to give away all of his money by the year 2045. Who said the economy's great? Who was that? Whoever that dolt was. Um, is the economy doing so good that you have a foundation now you've set up to try to give away all your money because you're like, the economy's so good, I got to give away all my money? Um, Bill Gates has that. Warren Buffett is trying to give away all his money. In fact, he gave a time limit of 10 years to his kids to give away their inheritance. These people can't give their money away. Look at Elon Musk. He could spend billions, 420 billion, whatever, on Twitter and lose 70% of that and still be almost a trillionaire. Guys, stop worrying about billionaires. They have so much money that they don't know what to do with it. So if we tax them, then our communities get better. It's very simple. And that was yesterday's live stream. Go back and watch it, please. RMs, what's your opinion on illegal immigration? You keep asking. Well, I'm not a Native American, so there is no illegal immigration for me. We're all immigrants. I don't know, that's my opinion. What tribe are you, RMs? What native tribe are you? I got some friends who are different tribes, and they have absolutely not been included in the wealth of this country. Some of these people who just... Oh, really? I didn't know that, Solus. Thank you for the insights. Maybe we should do that. Yeah, Solus, can you chat again so I can do your thing? Because I don't know how to do that. You're gonna have to teach me later. But yeah, say something in the chat. I know there's a delay, and then I can do it from your tag. There we go. Hold on. Why doesn't it say it there? Hold on. Remove. Hold on. Hold on. And hold on. Shh. There we go. All right, so that should be done now. Yeah, because we got to finish it. We got to stay on topic. And this chat is just a bunch of people so concerned about the wealth of billionaires. Like, I encounter it all the time, and it's good to like confront this on a daily basis. Like these people who are like, you can't tax wealthy people. Your whole thing is taking money from wealthy people. I'm like, do you not understand how they became billionaires? Their whole thing is exploiting people. That's why Walmart's employees, full-time or not, are the people who are on welfare and Medicare and Medicaid and government's help. Because Walmart has heirs, not the people that created it, but just the Nepo babies, the people that were born into it. Those people don't pay their employees enough, even though it makes them billions, okay? So we really seize their billions. There we go. There, Fiesta George. That is a comment I can get behind. All right, so now we got subscribers only mode. Thank you. Melody. It's always horrible to see women have that kind of mentality. Because I'm like, you're siding with the alt-right, essentially. That's who's running our government. And they want to take away your vote, your right to vote. They want to take away your rights as a woman. Like, it's always weird to me when women like side with this kind of mentality. Because I'm like, once they get the poor people and the immigrants, they're coming for you. Like, you ain't safe. These fucking people, man. Hi, I'm from California, by the way. I lived in California for a long time. North or south. I never got to see the beautiful redwoods. That's a bucket list thing. Got to see the redwoods. That's better. Thank you, Solus. Crockett. Yes. Thank you, Solus. So again, I encourage you, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and a hat tip to you, Solus. Judy, good morning. How's your morning? I hope it's doing, I hope your morning's well. Maybe you're sipping some tea, catching up on the news. I'm here to inform you on the news and give you some vibe coaching. You know, what do you need help with? Anybody got any questions? Now that the chat is cleaned out, and you got to be a subscriber to say something, and we can't just have all these people that are just obsessed with defending Elon Musk being a billionaire while, you know, he helps decimate the people who live around you. We can get to the news. The Putin-Trump summit. If you're into cartoons, almighty toxic juice. Billionaires employ Americans. Yes, but what kind of jobs do they employ them with? Who use infrastructure paid by taxes to get to work. These employees are educated by the state, paid for by taxes. They reap all the rewards of taxation. But the billionaires, again, are providing what kind of jobs? You know, you're almost there. You're getting close, almighty toxic juice. Socher, also in Texas, men are starting to stare us down in public for no reason, just to intimidate us. That is effing insane. You know, I wish more men would understand that what makes you a man is your compassion, your empathy, your intelligence, your discernment, not how many fucking push-ups you can do and who you can stare down, you know? It's like, I don't know. Here's some vibe coach wisdom. I've been around long enough to know that there's always someone bigger, smarter, stronger, stare downier. It's like, that's not the game, you know? And it's always weird to me when the people in Christian country aren't listening to the Christian man who said, you should be loving people, you know? To make a child stumble, you should tie a rope around your neck and walk into the ocean. So it's weird. Stay strong. And, you know, there's people that will always speak out and always hopefully, you know, stand by you. Because just to think about that, that's heinous. Portland, Oregon. One of my favorite places I've never been. The tension is high. You're right. And that's why, listen, here's the least I can do. As a white man who's lived a long time in this country under capitalism and these politicians who feign caring for you, the least I can do is use my platform to speak out, try to inform people, try to get people to think in a different way. You know, when people come in here and say, why do you just want to take money from billionaires? I explain, because they took it from you. Jeff Bezos personally thanked people. You can watch him on TV. The day I stopped shopping on Amazon was the day he went on TV after his penis rocket ship went to low orbit, and he wore that stupid cowboy hat and said, I want to thank all my Amazon customers. And I said, oh no, you fucking didn't. You're making your employees pee in bottles, but you want to thank us for making you this wealthy? We didn't make you wealthy. Your exploitation of your workers made you wealthy, and I refuse to buy shit from him. God, it's disgusting. Plus, he put Toys R Us out of business, so I loved that place when I was a kid. Joel, hiding behind your subscribers only mod, but all sub. You're fun to watch cope. Well, Joel, you're fun to not watch at all. That's why you're in my chat, and you had to sub to fucking do it. And you'll unsub after, and then you'll come back on Monday, and you'll sub again to talk. But here's the thing. You know, you're a fucking nickel a dollar. You know, it's not even a dime a dozen. You guys are fucking like 5 of you for 100 of us. And you think because you're loud and you chirp a lot and you say mean stuff and then do it in the name of the Lord, that people like you, and people don't. And this is why I'm your vibe coach, Joel, because we're not coping. We're pushing for a better America. You're the dude who, when civil rights were being fought for, you're like, look at Martin Luther King cope on those stairs talking about his dream. Look at the cope on Martin Luther King Jr. talking about a dream. Cope harder, Martin. Like, you're just a piece of shit. You know, like, you're fucking old. I'm talking about taxing people who rented Venice, the city, for their second wedding. By the way, whenever I mention the wedding, if you have a cup, cheers. Let's do a cheers to Jeff Bezos. May it be a messy second divorce, Jeff. Here's to a second messy one, Jeff. He made his first wife a billionaire just by marrying him. And you people, and I do mean you people, who think like protecting them is going to make our country better. Well, again, I've been alive for a long time, and we've been doing it your way for a long time. We haven't tried any socialism yet. outside of the fire department, Social Security, and a few other things that you of course enjoy. But it's just incredible to me that you'll watch shit get progressively worse and think the answer is to like give Donald Trump more power. I guess stupid is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So true. We've lost friends and family, and that's okay. You know, do you want to be friends or family with someone who wants to oppress your right to choose your bodily autonomy? You know what I mean? Like in that case, I go, I don't know, piss off. Ow. How dare he name his company after the lungs of the planet? True. While he's suffocating it. You ever been driving around town and you see one Amazon truck going one way and then another going another way and then another Amazon truck behind it? And you're just like, oh, Jesus. God. Why do people like same day delivery? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. All while expecting and extracting your labor while you own nothing and rent more and more. That was the other thing because we do talk about the news. I wanted to show you guys this because I have Tubi. I don't know if you guys have Tubi. It is free, and there are 800 Looney Tunes now streaming on there. So Saturday morning, here's your cartoons. If you didn't know, you could download the app for free. Here's a list of the cartoons. And something with HBO Max, I don't know. Listen, that's one of the things I absolutely despise about the streaming universe that we live in now. They want you to rent your home, just soon rent your food, rent your water, rent your car, rent your DVDs, rent your music, rent your appliances, rent your couch. They want you to rent everything while they continue to buy up the assets. And if you can't see that happening, I don't know, maybe you're a baby, maybe you're new, but this is what I've watched progressively. We used to own our media. I still have a DVD collection, and my wife hates it. But I'm like, I don't care how much room it takes up. If these streaming services decide one day that we're just not going to show it because we don't want to, you can come to me. I'll be your underground DVD dealer. Rent your soul, exactly. Judy, bless you for sharing that. Well, you gotta. This is the other thing that MAGA doesn't like to do. They don't like to share information or just share anything. And that's how we got better as a civilization, One guy didn't find out that aloe vera rubbing it on your sunburn healed and then was like, don't tell anybody. Like they shared the information. It made everything better. Aw, she's asleep in my lap. Let me see if I can show you. Hold on. She's so cute. She's so cute. Sorry, I had to show you that because I can't move now because she's fallen asleep in my lap. Captain Caveman, love that one. By the way, cover your ears if you're into Fortnite and don't want to know the leaks, but apparently, ready? Scooby-Doo is coming to Fortnitemares this Halloween. So if you're a gamer, you play Fortnite. By the way, is Serenity still here? I forgot we were talking about GeoGuessr. I'm sorry, I get so distracted. ADD, ADHD, ADLMNOP, cat lap paralysis, correct. Government in my country spent $13 million on 40 machete disposal machines? What country is that? What's up, Selena girl? We used to have beautiful creeks to play in. Now you don't go in the water. Yeah, speaking of that, around Massachusetts, bacteria everywhere. I asked my son the other day, I totally forgot. I said, yo, you want to go to the beach? And he was like, are you trying to kill me? And I was like, oh, I forgot about the bacteria. It's so sad. It's because of the pollution. PS5, Sorrow? Yeah, nice. Yeah, we have a Discord link down below. So if people want to play Fortnite, we connect sometimes and play Fortnite. Sometimes I stream it. Energy vampires, yep. And this is nice, by the way. Just the subscribers in the chat. Thank you, Solus, because these maggots, they are so intent, and that's the wild thing to me. That's why I address it, because these people are so intent on others suffering, even if it means they suffer more. Because if you think about what I'm talking about, I'm not saying and this also highly reflects how they think and what they want. They want themselves to be elevated while other people suffer. That's Trump's whole thing. Criminalize the opposition, criminalize their other Democrats or whatever. But when I talk about things like taxing the wealthy, I talk about paid time off, guaranteed sick time, guaranteed vacation time from your work. I'm not unincluding MAGA from that. Like, I want them to have that. I think they might need it the most because they're so miserable that they got sucked into, orange turd cult. We almost moved to Framingham. Have you ever been in a natural disaster? My God, I've been in some hurricanes. I'm in Boston too. We haven't been to the beach all summer. Yeah. It's horrific. I mean, I walk down to it, but not dare go in the water, which, think about that. Whatever your thoughts are on the climate, just go listen to some scientists or go listen to ExxonMobil, and read their reports from the 80s that finally came out. Like, the oil companies believe in it. Stop listening to Joe Rogan, folks. But I mean, think about that. Something's wrong. You can't go to the beach all summer because of bacteria. All right, did you guys hear? Let's get into a little bit of news. And then I want to show you what Denzel Washington said about, this is a People article down below. What Denzel said about cancel culture. Love it. I want to leave you with that. Okay, so here's the news. Government papers found in an Alaska hotel reveal new details about the summit. If you had not heard this, NPR is reporting that 8 pages have been produced by U.S. staff and left behind accidentally shared precise locations and meeting times of the summit and phone numbers. Around 9 a.m. on Friday, 3 guests at a hotel, Captain Cook, well, interesting name. If you don't know who that is, Captain Cook was one of the guys that invaded Hawaii. A 4-star hotel located 20 minutes from the joint base found the documents left behind in the hotel's public printers. Now, folks, and here's some of the pages that they shared. This might be a weird fear that I have, but try not to use public printers. I watched this whole expose on how public printers, if you put like, I don't know if it's just the paper, but if you put like a hard drive or print something virtually from them, they have that information stored on them. So someone could come and whatever you're printing it from and, get whatever the box is that has all that information stored in the printer and steal all your info. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. I'm just trying to share it, what I've learned. So public printers are like, you would think a big no-no for, governments and stuff. You would figure they had their own printer. I don't know. Is shit that tight? I thought they just raised the deficit by $5 trillion. They can't afford a printer. You're telling me they don't have a printer on Air Force One? That's crazy. So I try to refrain from any kind of public printing outside of like generic documents and shit, But this is bananas that the government is printing it, leaving phone numbers, the exact time, the meetings. It's almost like it was like a setup or something. Who said let's bring pensions back? Oh my God, yes. I love this chat. This is my favorite chat. I've been doing live streams for 1 year and 4 months. This is my favorite chat so far. It's not people being like, get people because they're poor. Just work harder. Then you'll be Jeff Bezos. Like, I hate that. It's so dumb. You sound like you're in 3rd grade. You sound like you're Jeff Bezos' stepson coming out of 4th grade. If you just work harder, you'll be like my daddy. And if you didn't see, not only did they literally roll out a red carpet for Putin, but they didn't even serve the Big Mac. Here's the menu from the leftover paper. In His Excellency, in honor. They're honoring the excellent president of 25 years, if you can believe it. Look at these photos. Good God, man. And did you see this toddler, how he walked? Did you see when he walked and then he was clapping for Putin? I'm like, this shit is crazy. This guy literally invaded a sovereign nation. And he's rolling out the red carpet and clapping for him. Like put down cobblestone or put down crushed stone. Make him really earn his walk. You know, troll him a little bit. Sorry, I'm not reading the chat. Yeah, someone came in saying TDS when you weren't even talking about Trump earlier. It didn't make sense. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like sometimes these people are bots. Is that what the French call them? La bot. OMG IDC. Glad to know that I've printed tons of crap from Staples. Yeah. Just try to be aware of what you're printing. You know, if you're printing up birthday invitations, who gives a rip? But just, guys, folks, again, this is why I've been alive long enough to know a few tricks, as they used to call them, life hacks. And I just try to share that stuff with you. You don't have to do it or take it, but at least you know. So next time you're like, let me go print my social security card from a digital version, you know, at the FedEx machine. You might want to refrain from that. Yeah, don't look at me, the bootstraps people. Dystopian times. People are lost mostly. Not only lost, but they're lonely. That's why you see this, like, they want a strong appearing, because we know, you know, old bowling ball toddler is not a strong man. But they just want people who talk tough. That's why Joe Rogan took that veer hard right to, you know, start talking about, like, you know, oppressing other people, you know, and defending Elon Musk, saying he has $1 billion, he doesn't want yours. It's like, he does. Trust me, he does. If he didn't, why isn't he paying his employees the most any employer's ever paid anybody? You know, if these people are so not greedy, they would be paying people. We wouldn't be in the situation we're in. The story about the invasion of Mexico was sort of overshadowed by the Alaska meeting. Yes, it highly was. I was going to talk about it yesterday, and we didn't get to it. Rolling Stone printed an article about it. But did you guys, did it leave? Oh, come on. Hold on. I wanted to play this. Arnold Trump. Did you guys hear Arnold Schwarzenegger? Here it is. Did you hear what Mr. Schwarzenegger said about Trump? Hold on.
Press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that? I mean, you live.
He called him a wet noodle. That is such a boomer. That is such a tough. That's just such an Arnold thing. Like, do you know anyone in your life that's called someone's a wet noodle? His kids, does Arnold have kids? They must be like, stop saying wet noodle, Dad. Like, say skibbity rizma or something. Like, that shit, I love that stuff. People, it's so their little personality. You are a wet noodle. You are like flimsy little spaghetti al dente.
Literally sold out at this press conference our intelligence community, our justice system, and worst of all, our country. You're the president of the United States. You shouldn't do that. And what's the matter with you? I mean, whatever happened to the strong words or to the strength of Ronald Reagan when he stood there at the Berlin Wall and he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall? What happened to all that?
Damn. Arnold's disappointed at you. And when I was young, we used to have the Arnold Schwarzenegger presidential fitness test. You get a blue badge or a red badge. Melissa, oh my God, yes, Arnold. Go away, Corey. Oh, this, ironically, Corey has been in the chat before. Thank you for subscribing. And his comment is usually echo chamber, which is absolutely, think about the hilariousness of a guy who comes into a chat and only says echo chamber, echo chamber, echo chamber, echo, echo, echo chamber. These people will always exist. And Corey, the one thing I know you're not busy doing is having your own live stream. So thanks for attending mine. You might learn something. Dang shame Arnold can't be POTUS. I don't know if I would want him to be POTUS. I think we need POTUS by committee from now on, folks. I think we need a polyamorous POTUS at this point. You know, no more of these, like when Donald Trump said only I can fix it, and then people get mad when you blame him, or they say stuff like, do you think he did that himself? I'm like, yeah, he said he's the one. Nothing happens without his say so. So, yes. God, this cat, I can't move my legs and my legs are going numb. Okay, I'm sorry, kitty. I gotta pick you up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You gotta, oh, okay. Very mad, very mad. But I think we need, like, you know, again, here's my thing for president. No one over the age of 55. Sorry, gotta know about TikTok. No wealth. You have to, your wealth can only exceed the people in your immediate community by 1.5 times. Like, that's how wealthy you are. Clearly, no money in politics. And I think by committee. At this point, we need a few different people. You know, 3. Let's say 3 people. 3 people as a committee for president. One has to have been from a union or some kind of labor party. One has to be a woman to obviously represent their rights. And then I would say one can just be, you know, the fall guy or whatever. But this is where it's nice, where the chat just starts exploding because I had an idea. It's always amazing to me, the free speech warriors, the people who love free speech. But then when I say shit like the minimum wage should be $66 an hour, not only is our productivity up, but inflation is skyrocketed. When they say, oh, you want to pay for a $10 Whopper? It's like, we are. We already are. We're already there. Prices have already gone up. Nothing has stayed the same price, even since 5 years ago. Your dollar has lost 25% of its worth just in 5 years. And then they have a hissy fit when I imagine $66 minimum wage. People in here might even, you know, have an absolute conniption or a heart attack, which is shocking to me. Because remember, folks, I'm a guy on the internet saying words. I'm not this guy who's literally rolling red carpets out for fascist civilian herders. So watch Elon Musk run for my president. Well, Adrian, he's not American. He can't. But maybe they'll change the rules. But if you think this guy's going to change the rules to let a South African run for president, you're crazy. 66 hours. See, I knew it. See, 66 hours, not realistic though. Oh, but $66,000 an hour is, that's how much a CEO of Starbucks makes. 66 grand an hour. Okay, this is what I mean. I'm trying to get people to stop. When I say stuff that will help you and help me, I explained this yesterday. McDonald's starts paying $66 an hour. Everyone's going to go work there. Okay, and then your work has to raise their wages. And they're not going to start charging more. You know what they're going to do? They're not going to pay their CEO hundreds of $1,000s an hour. Okay, CEOs are going to stop making billions of dollars, and we're going to replace them with AI. Again, these are my ideas, folks. I know they upset a lot of people. Probably Charlie Kirk, you know, just fucking his butthole puckered up because I said that. But remember, folks, these are ideas to make the future better. So instead of going, no, the workers can't have that, let's start saying, no, the CEOs can't make 300 to 3,000 times what the workers are making. We need to fix this, okay? And the more people start going, yeah, why would I ever be mad at me making more money? We should be mad at the people who I never see clock in. I never see if they're even at work. I read stories in Fortune magazine how they wake up at 4 and go to their private gym and then have Zoom meetings and then do all this spa and sauna stuff after. It's like, those are the people that didn't earn it, okay? You can earn $66,000 an hour, and that's not a joke. Link down below. You can see how much they pay CEOs. The AFL's website has a CEO pay tracker. So I back everything up. Thank you, Kevin Edwards. Great idea. Thank you. It's an idea, folks. If you think it's going to come true with Democrats or Republicans, then you might be delusional. Or microdosing shrooms. I don't know. But yes, CEOs need salary caps. There we go. You cap the CEO salary at 20 to 1 the median employee. If we have a minimum wage, why don't we have a maximum wage? What else was I going to talk about in the news? There's other stuff. I shared with you the cartoons. Oh, Denzel. The Kremlin leaks footage showing Trump fawning over Putin. This was a tweet from Russian propaganda, RT. That's the Kremlin tweeting. It's interesting to follow their Twitter after something like this. Very interesting. It was interesting to see them say, oh, is the CIA projecting again? Because someone was saying, a former Secret Service agent said they should sweep the limo for microchips. You know, I thought that was crazy. They just let Putin in there? Like, sweep it for microchips. He was little man KGB. He was a little KGB at one point. I think that was his Moscow hip hop name, Lil KGB. But the Kremlin will tweet that stuff, and then when the Daily Beast article down below says, "Oh, Trump's fawning over Putin," they, you know, they go back and go, "Oh, is he really fawning over him?" I mean, it's guys. You want to see a masterclass in propaganda? Just go to like Fox News. Well, Fox News even critique Trump, but just go to like RT after a meeting like this, and you'll see how the propaganda is spread, disseminated, how it's twisted, their narrative. It's fascinating. I mean, it's just fascinating to watch. You know, it's just a fascinating thing to watch. Wait, who said, Judy, I'm microdosing? Oh, there we go. Good on you. God bless you. It will heal your PTSD, so the scientists say. Well, and the professionals, the people, you know, who did it in their youth and understood, oh, this is like the key to healing. Anyways, legalize psilocybin. We voted on that last year and it didn't pass here in Massachusetts. I'm devastated because we really just need to legalize it. It's a medicine. Same with cannabis. Oh my God, I shouldn't have to say this. David Kendall, we pay $900 a year for universal health care. You're not in America. Where are you? Because I pay close to $900 a month for a health insurance that I can't afford the co-pays after. Micro is legal in Washington? Interesting. Interesting. Good on, see, Washington leading the way. Why can't the West Coast, Washington, Oregon, California, and then the Northeast just become its own country? Like, can we do that? Can we just do that? Again, ideas, folks. We need more ideas. We need creative types, drawing types, painters, microdosers. We need Van Goghs. We need all sorts of types. The Thoreaus, the Dollies. We just need more creative types, not AI. AI is not creative, it's just regurgitative. They sell it at gas stations, what? Yes, we do pay for Israel's universal health care. It's amazing that there are literally people in America that are, well, maybe they don't know that, but they're okay with that. But when we're like, hey, we should have it too, they're like, oh, you want health care? You want to not go broke, breaking your arm? It's so sad. It's so sad. It's like they're sadomasochists or something. Vanilla Danella, you need your own channel. Yeah, I encourage everybody to do their own channel, except for the hateful maggots, you know. Go follow your Ben Shapiro's and Charlie Kirks while they fall off and all go bald. Yeah, well, one life, one love. We have to start linking up. Well, that's part of why I do my live streams, for us to connect, build a community. We have a community outside of YouTube on Discord where we share books, YouTube recommendations, news, memes, Fortnite stuff, a little bit of everything. I would like to start a school. What was the Koch brothers school? What did they call it? Hold on. Koch brothers Kids TV investment. What was it called? It irks me so bad. Well, Charles and David Koch. David died in 2019. Rest in hell, bitch. What was the TV show? Dark Money pushed their new... Wait, what is it? Right Wing Kids TV program, as they call it in Massachusetts. Conservative media company Daily Wire launched it. PragerU Kids, that's it. PragerU Kids. This is the most heinous TV show ever. So that was the other thing I really wanted to do. Hopefully, I'm gonna just leave it on the menu that the Trump regime left at a public hotel printer for Vladimir's meetup, and they called him His Excellency. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob. I'm your official YouTube vibe coach. We do news commentary. We joke about the news because the news is a joke. But when this channel gets big enough, that's why I say hit subscribe and notification bell. Once I build it big enough, I want to build a TV show. I've made 2 episodes already. Revolutionary Kids Classroom, where we teach about Abbie Hoffman, Tupac, Fred Hampton, uh, um, oh my God, John Brown. Who else is the Huey Newton? I'm trying to think of the other. Afeni Shakur, the Black Panthers, the Panther 21, that was set up by the cops, and Afeni, Tupac's mom, fought her own court case. People like that. I want to start a TV show for kids, especially because they're defunding PragerU. Joanne, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I made 2 episodes, again, poorly done. They're on my channel if you want to go watch them. I did one on Abbie Hoffman, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant mind. A great activist, creator of the Yippies, hippie movement. You can watch them played by Sacha Baron Cohen on, was it the Chicago 5 or Chicago 7? I forget the movie. But he wrote many, many books that I have, one called Steal This Book. And he led just a radical movement throughout the 60s and 70s, died in the 80s, very sad. And not many people know about him. Not many people know about John Brown, who sparked the Civil War, who's my great, 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 great uncle. These people just aren't educated on the revolutionary people throughout history. But PragerU is trying to, re-white vitalize and Naziify history. And we need something to combat that. And I mean like Big Rich. I think teaching about investment should be a priority. Everything else can come after. Well, Big Rich, here, I'm only good, or not even good, but I only focus on the revolutionary people throughout history, right? The Harriet Tubmans. How is she not on the 20 right now? That lady was an outlaw abolitionist who not just went back to save a few other people, but over 200 people, endangered her life so many times. She should be on the money. Not Andrew Jackson. I'm sorry, that asshole. But like Big Rich said, again, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Once I build this channel big enough, I would like to start a channel where Big Rich, if you're good in investment, we find people who can teach kids about investment, especially how the big boys do it, like Nancy Pelosi, and find out, how they're doing their slick trading. And once we make everybody trade like these corrupt Wall Street politicians and backdoor insiders, but also how to file your taxes, all those essential things, CPR, planting. And I would love to have that. Yeah, I was shocked at the positions from Prager. But I'm guessing the Bible Belt in the middle of the country, loves that kind of reaffirmment of this anti-truth in history. And it's disturbing, I lived near a museum dedicated to John Brown. He lived in Pennsylvania for a short time. The town was a hub for a lot of abolitionists. Oh, that's awesome. If you can go there and take pictures, that would be amazing. You share them in the Discord or go there and make a video. We're trying to plan a trip to take my daughter to Harriet Tubman's house in upstate New York, and where John Brown is buried. My brother got me a little surprise when he went down to Harper's Ferry. Yeah, I think that would be cool stuff. Yeah, Danella, you should make a video when you go. Bro, you couldn't teach a dog to walk. Anonymous, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. Shibbity, I see your chats. I live in an area that's heavily known for the Underground Railroad. I do videos about this area and the buildings that were Underground Railroad. Oh, Joanne, then I got to check out your YouTube channel. Everyone check out Joanne Berg. She's in the live stream chat right now, if you're watching this later, but she does videos on that stuff. And that is, that's another dream of mine. I'm going to see the magic groundhog today. What's the magic groundhog? Is he different than the Bill Murray groundhog? What are your politicked, if you had to label it? I'm the radical left woke mob that the Republicans, who are so hardcore and macho, are terrified of. I'm the guy who says a living wage, minimum wage should be a living wage. That's what FDR said. We talked about it here just a few days ago. I played FDR talking about the second Bill of Rights, and I believe that, it should be $66 an hour. The right wing, manly men freak out like little girls when I say that. They absolutely lose their mind. I believe billionaires should be taxed into extinction. They can be fined just being 999,000 millionaires. So I don't subscribe to the red or blue. In fact, weirdly enough, even when I first registered to vote, I've never been in one of the two parties, ever. Because I've understood. I was raised on the education of George Carlin. My mother not only got me his books, but I watched his content all the time. And at a very young age, I knew that the politicians don't work for you. It's a big club, and we're not in it. Some people, like Anonymous, think they're in the big club and think defending that big club will maybe one day get them back in higher. So I think we need a working class party, or a party of the people. I subscribe more to what the Black Panthers had with the Rainbow Coalition developed by Fred Hampton Jr. or Fred Hampton, sorry. But Fred Hampton Jr., video down below in the description, is also pushing for that too. So that's more of my politics, I believe in a lot of the stuff, their 10-point program, and a lot of the things that they were pushing for and advocating for. But I take it even further. I think, CEOs should be paid 20 to 1 like they were in the 60s to what their middle employees should be paid. No billionaires should exist. Tax them at 100%. Just like back in the 50s and 60s here in America, individual tax rates were 78 to 92%, okay, of the highest earners. And people were buying homes back then. Listen, I've been around long enough where these people in the chat, when they start, mouthing off and chirping about how, this is going to make things worse. I'm like, we've been living in your timeline for a long time. Okay? Capitalism has been run amok. Corporations got their free speech, as much money they want to put in with Citizens United. Corporations are basically writing the laws. Politicians are not being held accountable, and shit has progressively gotten worse. Okay? We're not safer, we're not smarter, we pay more for our healthcare, and our life expectancy is going down. And we have more technology and better health solutions and all these things. I'm also of the politics that AI should replace workers. Everyone should just be replaced by AI that has to do a job that AI can do. Like, people were shocked that coders were getting replaced by AI. And I was like, who do you think's making the AI? Coders. What do you think they're teaching AI first? How to code. Of course you're going to lose your job. But that's okay. Universal basic income, universal basic healthcare. And don't worry, it's paid for by the billionaire tax. Don't worry. And my proof that this works is in Massachusetts. I talked about this earlier. We did a millionaire's tax, 4% on wealth over $1 million. Kids get free lunch now, free breakfast at school. There's no more school debt. If you want to get a bachelor's degree, you can do it for free. So it works. It works, folks. They said the millionaires would leave the state, and guess what? They didn't. Here in Massachusetts, our millionaires grew by 35%. And that should be good news for all you millionaire bootlickers out there. You go, well, I got more millionaire boots to lick. So if we tax them, you have more millionaires you can worship. Ideas can't get better if nobody talks about them. Thank you, Big Rich. We can't just pick a side and agree with everything they do. Nobody knows it all, but it's nice to see people at least trying to do what they can do to make a difference. I appreciate you, Big Rich. Because remember, that's all I'm doing. I know some of these right-wing hardcore maggots. Well, I know why the new Nazis don't like me. Because I hate racism, and I don't believe they should have a voice. We defeated you in World War II. My grandfather, right up there, fought you in World War II. I don't think you should have a comeback. I don't want the reboot, okay? Not this one. All set. We beat you in the Civil War, all the racists, the Confederate flag-wearing motherfuckers. I don't think you guys get a say again. Once we've defeated you in a war, you don't get to rise back up. Let's just keep it simple like that. But what Big Rich is saying, as scared as these people are of me saying words, these free speech warriors that drink liberal tears, when I start saying words like make the minimum wage $66 an hour, how come you have a problem with that, but not a problem with a guy making billions? A guy making $66,000 an hour. Like, I don't hear people going, he's making $66,000 an hour. Why is shit not better? Why is his employees, not or renting still. Like, how do you pay yourself that much when your employees are still suffering? Nobody has that mentality. But these maggots start freaking out when I start just having ideas. And here's the thing. I don't know if you know anything about America, but people had ideas. My great uncle John Brown, most of America was for slavery. And he was like, nah, fuck this. I'm going to rewrite the Constitution, which he did. You could read it. And he said, I'm going to go to war with slavery. And he said, I have a feeling that this great nation is going to pay the price in blood for its sins against black people and for its sins that it's committed. And this country hung my great granduncle, John Brown. They took him out. But he sparked that Civil War and that Union Army while they marched into the South and defeated those Confederates. They defeated you. If any Confederates are watching, you go burn your flag and bury it out back, and you should be ashamed that you raised the flag of a foreign, treasonous, traitorous nation. And he was much different, People hated him at that time. And then Henry David Thoreau wrote that John Brown being brought to the gallows will make the gallows as glorious as the cross. And look at where we are. So you got to remember that sometimes things sound new and sound scary because TV tells you, politicians tell you, just like the same. I'm just a diet version of that one. And so this is a little bit better. But radical new ideas to usher us into a new stage of prosperity for everyone. Not just the billionaires, not just the politicians. Isn't it amazing that Marjorie Taylor Greene went into office only worth $700,000? Still way too much to be worth. And now she's worth $21 million from trading stocks. Isn't that weird? I'm anti that. I'm anti Donald Trump getting into office, promising to release the files of Epstein, his best friend, and then not doing it. I think those traffickers should be held to account. I don't think they should be brought to Club Fed like Donald Trump allowed with that heinous convicted criminal, Ghislaine Maxwell. So, yes, April, that is the whole point. It's all of Congress. You're right. We need people in there that have a mindset of like, I'm not going to be bribed. I'm here to actually serve the public. So that's why I encourage people to not subscribe to either of these political parties. I understand some of you maggots were like the one issue voter, and you're like, I'm using them as a means to a cause. I don't want women to have rights over their body. But, that's just horrific. That's just horrific. And the other thing I don't subscribe to, Shinku in the chat, thanks for subscribing, hit subscribe. The other thing I don't subscribe to is this beta alpha skibbity risma shit. My son comes home talking about that stuff, and I have to teach him. Like, those are very insecure boys that say those things, because real men, real boys, real women, real girls don't give a shit about a label. And it just shows like where your mentality is at. That you walk into a room and you're like, okay, I'm not being a beta, am I? I gotta look for the alpha, or am I the alpha? Like, nobody fucking thinks like that. Andrew Tate poisoned your mind, okay? These alpha males poisoned your mind to believe that's like a thing, okay? I grew up in the 90s where, damn, if somebody walked in with the pager, you knew those motherfuckers were important, okay? They were either a doctor or a drug dealer. But stop. This is why I say I'm your official YouTube vibe coach, because Shinku, or whatever your name is, I know you'll unsubscribe when you're done, and then you'll come back and you'll subscribe again, because you guys always do, because you're lonely. You're scared to create content on your own. You're scared to put yourself out there. You're lonely. And the only joy you get out of the day is going, I own that radical by saying beta energy. Like, that was your comment. You came in here, let me give you a little pat on the head. What a good little beta boy, skibbity risma. Are you a Sigma Riz? Are you a Sigma Riz? Giat? Like, Jesus Christ. And this is the politics of the day. This is like Joe Rogan's universe. They worry who's the alpha. I'm like, if you're worried about who the alpha is, don't worry. You're not the alpha. Sometimes it's, as basic as that. What about trans? I love my trans folks. What about them? A lot of trans friends. I work with a lot of trans people. So I don't know what people are asking, but you know, the weird thing about the whole, like, so I was watching The Mighty Ducks with my kids last night, and if you forgot, that's a movie from 1992, and they had girls on the team, girls playing boys sports. And I thought, isn't this fucking amazing? This is such a gem. Go watch, it's on Disney Plus. Go watch Mighty Ducks 1 and 2. They have girls playing on the boys' team. And somehow that's like a talking point for American politics today. Like Disney Emilio Estevez settled that a long time ago in 1992 and then 94 in D2, The Mighty Ducks. That's incredible that's a talking point. If any of your people that you watch, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, if they use that as a talking point, they're not serious people, okay? Because this was a tackled topic from the early 90s, 92 and 94, where the Mighty Ducks had 2 girls on a men's or boys hockey team. Hockey team. And we didn't riot. We didn't have podcasters telling us that movie was too woke. I didn't see the Ducks 3. Vote for Draco. But please tell us, what leftist media you follow? You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to do a like a subscribers only live stream or something. Democracy Now! Is very good. I wouldn't say they're leftist, but they, you know, they're like the People's History of the United States by Andrew Zimmerman or Zinn. They're like him in news form. Some more news. I love them. I like comedy stuff. Climate Town. I share a lot of this stuff if you're subscribed in my community posts. The Majority Report. I like Sam Cedar, and I like his relationship with some of the comics that come on. He's always disdainfully funny. I can never tell. He has such a dry humor, but I really like him. And then Hassan. If you watch people on Twitch, he live streams. How does a Disney movie prove your point? It proves my point because society didn't get uproarious in 1992 when they had 2 girls playing on the boys' hockey team. So it proves my point. You don't have to have a conniption and have a podcast about girls and boys sports. It doesn't have to be even a political issue. And it's just shown how far they've tricked you with this culture war to distract you from the class war on girls and boys sports. Like, this was happening in the 90s. We weren't creating Joe Rogans to discuss it, you know? Like, it wasn't, it wasn't a thing, you know? We were like, okay, whatever. What does Kurt Loder have to say about it, you know? If Kurt Loder came on and said some shit, then we would have been in trouble because we trusted him. April, do you know any trans folks? I always find it weird the people who comment on it the most seem to not know any trans people. But again, we're on the internet with your, you know, made up avatar. So I'm guessing you could just say, yeah, I'm surrounded by them. But I work with a lot of trans folks and I don't understand anybody's issue. Like, I really fucking don't. Again, most of these people that are commenting on it are, number 1, not them. Number 2, don't know them. And number 3, you know, it's more of like their own fear, insecurity. What is the thing? Every accusation is an admission. Like, it's one of their own things that they're projecting. Don't listen to Chapo? Is that the Chapo Trap House? There's some other podcasts that I listen to, but they're like, I forget what they're called. I can find them. Listen, that's the other reason we have the Discord, because I'll list like podcasts, books. Here, you want to know how capitalism sucks and why socialism never got to take root in any of the Southern Cone or, you know, throughout the world? Read this book. I encourage everybody to read this book, okay? It precisely defines how the U.S. government and the CIA have interfered in all great worker-led movements throughout the world and how they implement dictators to root out. It's simply because the person doesn't have a grasp on reality. How can you trust their judgment? Change my view on geopolitics. It's genius. Is it Trap House. Sorry. Speaking of Russia's propaganda, have you ever seen America's propaganda? Oh, America is very good at propaganda. Yes, it convinced like people who work for a living to defend the people who live on passive income for a living, to give them tax breaks. It convinced the people that the politics should have guaranteed health care. The politicians that are their servants should have guaranteed health care, but they shouldn't. That corporate profits for CEOs of pharmaceutical and healthcare insurance industries are more important. Yeah, the American politics is hard. That's why I do this. We're like a deprogramming satirical show where I'm your vibe coach and I help you get through the day. Naomi Klein especially. Oh my God, yeah. You understand so many things after Shibbity, if that's how you say it, Shibbity 2. You better, oh, you have hit subscribe and the notification bell and join the Discord. Convince the people to pay taxes, period. April, it's not a bad thing to pay taxes. I have no problem paying taxes. So if somebody's house burns down, the fire department comes. If the roads have potholes, they fix it. If we're paying taxes to get healthcare back, I'm for it. If I'm paying taxes so kids don't go hungry, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? If we're paying taxes so Israel can have healthcare universally, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with using our tax money to buy weapons so they can send them overseas. You know, like, I'm not okay with certain things. But okay, so we went over the news. I wanted to show you this one last thing. So we went over this guy who didn't get a deal. Chairman Fred Jr. of the Black Panther Cubs is live right now. I don't know why I promote other people's lives, but I love Fred Panther Jr. I'd like to meet him one day. I'd love to have him on this. But this guy walked away with no deal. For everybody in the chat yesterday when we were talking about this, said, oh, he's good. What are you, against peace? And it's like, well, number one, it's not a war, okay? When you say like it's a war, it's not. He invaded a sovereign nation. He walked away with no deal. They left documents on a public printer with times, locations, and the menu, where Donald Trump called Putin His Excellency in honor of him. But I wanted to show you guys this. Denzel Washington, in an interview, reprinted by People magazine, said, when asked about cancel culture, he said, I don't care who's following who. You can't lead and follow at the same time, and you can't follow and lead at the same time. I don't follow anyone. I follow the heavenly spirit. I follow God. I don't follow man. I have faith in God. I have hope in man. But I look around, and it ain't working something so well. And I wanted to show you that because, yeah, string new line. I'm in Canada. I pay taxes for a good quality of life. You pay taxes for the welfare of your community. Somehow politicians have made the word welfare like a negative thing, but you should look up what it means. But yes, we should pay taxes for a good quality of life so nobody slips below any kind of poverty line, which hasn't been adjusted in ages. That's why, okay? That's why. Because we live in communities, okay? That's why. God. We really need to invest in the education system. I'm so okay with my taxes going to better education, higher education for more people. Like, I really am, because it's exhausting sometimes, like explaining basic shit to people. God damn. Anyways, but this is amazing that Denzel said, you know, I only follow God. You can't lead and follow at the same time. And I hope that this is a seed planted in your brain, especially the maggots, those people that worship Donald. Because if you're following God, like Jesus said, you can't worship two masters. You can't worship God and money. And Donald Trump only worships money. He has never wished anyone well, even when Biden got cancer, but he has wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. And then he moved her to a club-fed prison with no bars, no doors, made our communities more dangerous. Just that alone should disqualify everything else he does. I want you to think about that. He put a predator in a prison with no walls, okay? He put a predator in a prison with no walls. Just that alone. There's nothing else I need to say, which that alone is enough for everyone to be like, fuck this dude, you know? But people still defend him. And I just want you to know, if you defend him, you are not listening to Jesus and you are not following God. Because if you did, you would care about the poor, the hungry, the hurt, the vulnerable, mental issues, the homeless, all those people. You would care about them. You would want them to do better. So I thought this was powerful. And if you want to read this article, it's linked down below. Having children is free here in Canada. And hey, in Canada, do they have guaranteed parental leave, maternity and paternity leave? Because we don't in America. And then they wonder why, no one's having kids. It's like, because you got to get right back to work. I'm a teacher, and many students have dyslexia in my class, and they succeed. That's awesome. Awesome. String line, doing God's work right there. Doing God's work. Doing God's work. That's great. I agree with the message. Part of our problem is celebrity worship. 100%. And what was Donald Trump? He was a TV celebrity. He was a Nepo baby. Fred Trump gave him everything, and he was a TV guy. None of his businesses succeeded. Remember that. He bankrupted a casino, but he was popular for being on TV saying you're fired. And then he wonders why we have massive layoffs, why the job numbers are out of control, why the job numbers were so bad he fired the messenger, the statistics person. But that's what he's good at, firing people. That's it. That's all CEOs are good at, laying off a percentage of the company. So, yeah, it's deranged to support Trump or to support any politician, really. Like, remember, they're in public service. They're servants to the public. But they worship Trump. Like, they worship him so hard. They don't critique him. They want to go after anyone who dissents against him. They call NPR and publicly funded public broadcast companies, like Sesame Street, like woke, because they might teach something that Trump said. If Trump said, the sky is green today, everyone would say, well, you know what, maybe he sees it different. Like, they can't dissent against him. And the whole thing about free speech is being able to dissent against the government. And when you say stuff like, I love him, I just want you to remember, I need you to remember when you say stuff like that, okay? I'm going to pull it out, because when you say stuff like that, what you're saying is this is who you love. You love his best friend. You love Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. I need you to remember that. That's what you say. When you say that out loud, everybody goes, oh, he loves Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. He loves the trafficker's best friend. He loves the guy who put Ghislaine Maxwell in a low security prison. That's what you're saying. So you can say whatever you want. Again, it's a free country. It's funny. I can say that, but Trump doesn't like it to be a free country. And then someone brought up Kurt Vonnegut, and I thought this was an interesting quote, so I wanted to share it. We'll go down in history as the first society that wouldn't save itself because it wasn't cost effective. But I also think that's kind of a farce, because the mask is off. The guise of being cost effective is no longer. Republicans can never claim that. They added $5 trillion to the debt. Nothing's about cost effectiveness. I'm glad they took that mask off, because they were really tricking some people saying, oh, we're being cost effective. We care about the budget. They don't. Doge's efficiency. By the way, have you got your Doge dividends check for $5,000? Remember Elon promised those? Did you get yours? What'd you spend it on? Let me know in the comments. But Doge was operating under efficiency and rooting out fraud, even though there were no fraud charges. And it turns out a report showed that he spent $14 billion paying government employees to just stay home. Efficient, right? If capitalism didn't already exist, somebody suggested we all work under a guy for 40 hours a week while they make money and decisions. We'd beat the out of them. Here's my political party. Anybody that works full-time in America should be able to afford to buy a house, should never go into medical debt, should not have any school debt, and should be able to go on recreation many times a year. That's my political affiliation. It's with people who work full-time, should be able to afford a life with generous recreation, with paid time off, time to spend with their kids. That's what I believe in. And don't forget, it's Saturday. Go watch your cartoons on Tubi. Oh, these people will simp for Trump. You guys know he don't care about you. He thinks you're weaklings. He called his own MAGA supporters stupid and weaklings. God, it's kind of pathetic, you know. But what are you gonna do when you guys are skibbity betas? All right, guys, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, join the Discord. Oh, I might have to come back tomorrow or later because we got to talk about the Gavin Newsom tweets. Have you seen how he's tweeting? If you remember, weeks ago, after Trump said the thank you for the attention to this matter for the umpteenth time, I started telling people here on the live, when you return an email, a chat, social media, a text, always right at the end, thank you for your attention to this matter. And now Gavin Newsom's team is using Trump's way against him, and it's hilarious. I think everybody should be imploring this. If you see me on social media, you see I use it at the end of all my posts, but it's amazing. So we'll maybe go over that tomorrow. So that's why I say hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Much love, respect, be good to each other, okay? Love your enemy.